Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the show. I'm Natasha Molina, and today I'm going to be sitting down and chatting with Al Pizzle. Welcome, my dude. How are you?
Doing well right now. We alive, we breathing. So any day above ground is another great day. So just thankful, just thankful.
I'm in. Hell yeah. That's definitely the vibe. My friend Al Pizzle right now is currently in Miami. So all of my New Yorkers like me, we can be jealous of all the warmth that he's feeling, but he's definitely going to bring some of that good vibes to us right now through the screen. So Al P, for those of you who don't know him, let's give a little bit of a background. You work in radio primarily. That's where everybody knows you from, but you've also just released a debut single. First, let's talk about your radio days. How did you start?
Woo! So I started under this guy named AJ El Kallejero, who works for Google and YouTube right now. Just gave me my first chance about 10 years ago at SBS Entertainment when he was doing nights at 93.1 Amor. So I was there with him for a few years. From there, I went over to CBS Radio, to 93 Amp Radio, and I did promotions there. I was a part of their morning show too. Shouts to Shaboy and Nina. And yeah, just worked my way up. And so like it was just one big hustle. And you being in media too, like, you know, you get the grind, you understand it. Like there's not a lot of money to be made in the very beginning, at least. So you just got to put in the work and you got to do it because you love it. And so I've always had a passion for a couple of things, you know, one for music, clearly, which is why we're here today. And two for radio. You know, I had always wanted to be on the radio, to have my own show. And so now I share an incredible show, the Soulflow Morning Show here in Miami on Hits 97.3. And so I'm living that dream. And so I've always been ambitious. I've always been a dreamer. I was always the dreamer in my family, you know? And so, you know, just dropped the debut single, Without You, Without Me, which is out on all streaming platforms. The reception has been awesome. I got the lyric video out right now. The official music video dropping this Friday.
Woo!
That's
so great. We're so excited. I've been listening to the single again and again and again, just because it's like a really dope vibe with a really cool message too, you know, where you just kind of pour your heart out about a past relationship. You know, that's what you said on Instagram. Let's talk a little bit about that creative process for you. How was the process of writing the song, creating it, coming up with the whole vibe?
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, I was with this is right after I had COVID. So I made this song the day after I tested negative from COVID, right? So I was stuck at home for like a whole month and COVID hit me hard. Yeah, like I was with a shorty. I ain't gonna lie. I was with a shorty. She was like, yo, you should make a song. I'm like, I bet, you know? And so I got my studio here at the crib and I just started, you know, it just started at 10 a.m. And I put everything together. I was working from 10 a.m. and I was basically done with it by 9 p.m. So it was like an all day project. Made the beat from scratch, you know, just wrote everything. I had her sing on the hook, and it just worked out, you know. Like when I put together the guitar loop, it just felt emotional. And I'm a very emotional person. I'm a Cancer, so like I cry for everything. Like I cry watching Finding Nemo, you know. And yeah, so like once I started hearing that guitar that you hear in the beginning, that just brought me back to a particular dark time. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to talk about, you know, some of my experiences and just lay it all out there in music.
And we appreciate that you did this, because I feel like so many people can relate to it. Of course, you know, not everybody's had the luxury of being, you know, in positive relationships all the time. So those of us who have been in toxic relationships, they can relate. And then the song's got this really real and raw message, all of your emotions in it, but it's also got this really cool vibe that, you know, it just for me sounds like a really cool driving song, or just a really good song just to bump to and chill to too. So, you know, we appreciate that you gave us this great song and everything.
I love that you said that too, because I remember like, you know, when I put together the hook and like the song was finally coming together, like what I saw myself doing, listening to the song when I had my eyes closed, was just somebody just driving, just cruising, top down type of thing, that kind of vibe, you know, regardless of what the message was, what it made you feel as far as the sound, you know, or what it made me feel was like, yeah, like I'm just cruising. I ain't worried about nothing. I've been through a lot in my life type of thing. But, you know, anything that's happened in my life in the past is exactly where it's at in the past. And it's just time to just move forward. When you drive forward. So I feel like, you know, that's like the, you know, the subconscious feeling that I wanted people to feel, to just move forward, you know, regardless of what you've been through.
I love that. That's a really great message. And I love even more that you weren't expecting to write this song, but then like all of a sudden one day you woke up and then here you were feeling inspired and creative enough to, you know, put your heart out there and give us this great song. So we really love that. Thank you for that, Alfie.
Hell yeah. Now I appreciate you for that, you know, and you know, like I do believe that there are, you know, that we live in our purposes, or at least we get to choose to live in our purpose. And I knew that, like, you know, music was something I've always wanted to do. You know, it was just a passion that I've had since I was a kid. My main focus for a while was my radio career. And so now that that's going well, it's like, all right, cool. Now I have an opportunity to really pursue, you know, the other things that I've wanted to accomplish. And you know, like I want to be a rock star, straight up. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know,
and
it's cool that you already jumped into that, because I was gonna ask you, was music always something that you wanted to do? Because you are working really closely to music and radio and everything.
yeah.
So the fact that you always wanted to do it, but waiting for the right moment, that's awesome.
Yeah. You know, music was something I've always wanted to do, and I've done music from time to time. You know, never like I've never made it full time up until, you know, up until recently, up until a few months ago. Um, and it was just all in God's timing. You know, like I would make music, I would produce for people, I would write for people, I would write for myself. Pero me daba pena, you know, like I'll be like nervous about showing my projects to people and all. And I'm like, damn, probably not good enough. Like I would doubt myself, you know, there was like, I would get in my own head. I would have these mental blocks that I couldn't get myself out of. And just one day I had a beautiful conversation with one of my brothers, AJ El Kallejero, the same guy who's, you know, who I mentioned was my mentor and also one of my greatest friends in life too. And in that conversation, it just, you know, like it just hit me. It's like, yo, I only got one life, man. I know I got it in me. I know I got the talent. I know I got my hustle. I've proven it to myself countless times through many times in my life. So it's just, yo, let's just make it happen, because the worst thing that can ever happen is me looking back and saying, I wish I did that, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And you know what? I love that AJ was your mentor and that he's the one who, you know, had this conversation with you, because we are obviously big followers of AJ El Kallejero too. You know, he's amazing. He's always spitting out these gems to the community and everything. So if anybody's going to make you go for it, it's going to be him. And we're so glad that you did, LP, because now here we are sitting together, chatting a little bit about and everything. You got a great song out. The reaction from the public has been great. And, you know, here we are now. El que no llora no mama. That's what I like to think.
El que llora no mama. That's that's facts right there.
I literally, as soon as I decided to live my life by that motto, which is something I always heard my mom saying, shout out to my mom, my life changed. Now I'm just like, okay, if I don't ask for something, you know, what's the worst that can happen? So I'm going to go for it. And then if they say no, fine then, whatever.
My mom always told me, boca cerrada no come. You know?
I love it. I love it.
When I met AJ, I remember, like, you know, that was the mentality that I was nervous when I met AJ. I was 18 years old at the club. He was hosting, I was DJing, and it was a spot called 466 in Jersey. And he was rocking. He's looking at me like, yo, little dude, like, you killing it right now. And at that moment, I'm like, oh, it's my chance to like get cool with him. And I remember that thought in my head, boca cerrada no come. And that's just been a big motto of my life, you know, just to take opportunity. Like, I don't got no college degree. I don't got like nothing on paper that, you know, that holds me down as far as my background and all. It's always been my grit and my hustle. Boca cerrada no come. Like, yeah, so like we feel each other on that one.
Shout out to our Latina moms who ingrained these amazing sayings in our heads. Like, for real, it's all thanks to them. Yeah, shout out to LP's mom.
I'm a Pizzle.
You also said you're going to be releasing your new music video. This is your first time directing a music video. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Without You, Without Me, you know, the concept of the video